one day's prayer suffice for the prayers of the day equal to 1 year? Thereupon he said, No, but you must make an estimate of time and then observe the prayer. We said, Allah's Messenger, how quickly would he walk upon the earth? Thereupon he said, like a cloud driven by the wind. He would come to the people and invite them to a wrong religion, and they would affirm their faith in him and respond to him. He would then give a command to the sky, and there would be rainfall upon the earth, and it would grow crops. Then in the evening, their posturing animals would come to him with their humps very high, and their udders full of milk, and their flanks stretched. He would then come to another people and invite them, but they would reject him, and he would go away, and there would be a drought for them, and nothing left for them in the form of wealth. He would then walk through the wasteland and say to it, Bring forth your treasures, and treasures would come out and collect themselves before him like the swarm of bees. He would then call a person who is brimming with youth and strike him with a sword and cut him into 2 pieces between the archer and his target. And he would then call that young man, and the young man would come forward laughing with his face gleaming. It would be at this very time that Allah would send Christ, the Son of Mary, alayhi salam. So the second major sign chronologically is the coming of Imam Mahdi. Who is the Imam Mahdi? Abdullah bin Mas'ud has reported that the Prophet ﷺ said, The world will not pass away before the Arabs are ruled by a man of my family whose name will be the same as mine. And is considered Sahih by Abu Dawood. However, many people in the past have already falsely claimed to be Imam Mahdi. It should be noted that no one who has claimed to be the Mahdi in the past have fulfilled the conditions laid down by the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So anyone who has claimed to be Imam Mahdi prior to now is a false prophet. And we've been told that there will be 30 false prophets before the end of days. Imam Mahdi will have a striking appearance. He will be of the progeny of the Prophet and a descendant of Fatima. His name will be either Muhammad or Ahmad, and his father's name will be Abdullah. He will resemble the Prophet in character. He will have a shiny forehead and a high-ridged nose. Once Hadrat Ali was asked regarding his description, and the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ replied, He is a well-built youth of average height and a handsome face. His hair reaches his shoulders, and the light of his face is contrasted by the darkness of his hair and beard. It's known that he will be slow of speech, which means he'll have a slight stutter, similar to Moses, alayhi salam. And when he stutters, he will strike his left thigh with his right hand. He will appear from the east. Thawban reported that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, 3 men will be killed at the place where your treasure is. Each of them will be the son of a Khalifa, but none of them will get hold of the treasure. Then the black banners will come out of the east, and they will slaughter you in a way that has never been seen before. If you see him, give him your allegiance, even if you have to crawl over ice, because he is the Khalifa of Allah, the Mahdi. Now what this means is, when it talks about slaughtering you in a way that has never been seen before, I've read several different imams' analysis of this particular hadith, and the way that everything is phrased indicates that it will be a metaphorical slaughtering, a slaughtering of the spirit, that this person will come and deliver the message of Allah in such a way that it will break men's hearts. And this is how you will know the Imam Mahdi. So, what does the Imam Mahdi do? During his lifetime, he will lead the Muslims in successful campaigns and will defend Muslim lands against invading armies with great success. According to multiple hadith found in Abu Dawood and the Musnad of Ahmad, the reign of Imam Mahdi will be prosperous. Once again, Qur'an and Sunnah will govern the people, and this time by the rightly guided Caliph, Imam Mahdi. Islam will gain an upper hand and will be firmly established in the land. Oppression, tyranny, and darkness that prevailed all over the globe will be replaced with justice, peace, and equity. The smile which was long forgotten will be restored on Muslim faces, and the inhabitants of heaven and earth will be pleased with him. Everybody will be happy to the extent that even birds and wild animals will rejoice in his rule. Heaven will end rain profusely. Livestock will be in abundance. The land will become fertile, and the earth will become green and sprout with abundant fruit and vegetation. There will be much wealth among the Muslims, so that only one person in the world will be needy, and he will gain the share of the surplus of Imam Mahdi. The first 7 years of his reign will be like this, and he will spend his 8th year preparing to fight the Antichrist, and he will spend his 9th year with Isa alayhi salam, and then he will die, and Isa alayhi salam will preside at his funeral. The third major sign of the Day of Judgment is the return of Jesus Christ alayhi salam, the Son of Mary. This will happen after the Antichrist has retreated to Syria, being chased by the Imam Mahdi and his army. And the Antichrist has gone to Syria in order to amass his strength after being rejected from Mecca and Medina. The Imam Mahdi will have his army gather east of Damascus. Imam Mahdi will be preparing to lead the Ummah in morning prayer. Isa alayhi salam will descend from the heavens, and Jesus will be wearing 2 sheets which are dyed with saffron. That means there will be a golden yellow. His hands will be placed on the wings of 2 angels. Everyone present will recognize him immediately, and his skin will be bronze, and his hair will be soft and flow over his ears. Whenever he bows forward, beads of sweat will fall from his forehead, and when he rises up, they will scatter like pearls. Everyone who rejects true faith will die at the smell of his sweet breath, which will reach as far as he can see. Imam Mahdi will then step back to allow Jesus alayhi salam to lead the prayer, but Jesus will decline, saying, Iqamah was made for you, and he will pray behind the Imam. After this, they will open the gate where the Antichrist has gathered his army of 70,000 Persian Jews. Upon seeing Isa alayhi salam, the Antichrist will begin to melt like salt in water, and Isa will command him that he cannot die until he is struck with the spear of Isa alayhi salam. Isa will catch up to him and kill him somewhere between the mountains west of Damascus and Jerusalem. After this, the Muslims will be able to quickly destroy the army of the Antichrist. All this happens, everything that I've talked about so far, the coming of the Antichrist, the coming of Imam Mahdi, the coming of Isa alayhi salam, and the destruction of the Antichrist, all happens within a 9-year period. Shortly after this, the great tribes called Gog and Magog will arrive, and they will cause much destruction and devastation. Isa alayhi salam will be able to shatter them with his words. Now, I want to make clear here, Gog and Magog are not mythological creatures or some bizarre race of men. This is what's been assumed by many would-be scholars throughout the last several thousand years. The titles, Gog and Magog, refer to the veracity that they fight with, the violence of their nature.